Hello, this is Mark Sabatella from Outside Shore Music. In this video, I want to follow up on a video I just did last week in which I talked about kind of the inevitability of the triad, how once you've decided that consonance is a really good thing and you want to have three notes at the same time and have everything be consonant, you're going to end up with major and minor triads, either in root position or first inversion, and because those are the only combinations of notes that give you that. What I want to talk about today is I don't know that it's a corollary to it, but it's something that feels connected. And this has to do with not notes at the same time, but melody, when we have, notes one after another. And there's a similar kind of principle at play where historically the convention has been, melodies are mostly stepwise, right? And if you're going to have a leap, you step down after it. Leap up, step down, or leap down and then step up, etc. That's the convention. And often you'll see people write a rule that says, as this particular website does here, that says consecutive leaps should outline a triad. Well, this is really interesting. Because now we're not really talking about anything having to do with consonance or dissonance, but we are talking about the idea that if you are going to have two leaps in a row, like there's one leap, if we're going to leap again, it should be one that outlines a triad, or maybe that outlines an A minor triad, right? There's no obvious reason why that should be the case unless the thinking is, well, we might still hear the first and third note. If we tried leaping all the way up to there, we might hear that dissonance between the bottom note and the top note of that passage. Maybe that's what's going on. It's maybe feels a little less inevitable that people would have come up with that convention. But it is one that's pretty commonly stated if you study voice leading, that if you're going to have two leaps in a row in the same direction especially, that they should outline a triad. And what's actually interesting about that is what's really common is this particular sequence, G up to C, leaping up a fourth, and then continuing with a third. This is a second inversion triad. Well, that wouldn't be one of our consonant harmonic possibilities because of the fourth on the bottom. It gets treated specially. But as a melodic passage, it actually is quite common. Have leap up of a fourth followed by leap up of a third. So, is this something that you can use right away? Well, if you weren't aware of that little principle that says if you're going to have two leaps in a row, maybe have it outline a triad, yeah. If you weren't aware of it, now it's something to be aware of. But like all rules, it's not one that says you must do this or you go to jail. It's one that says do this if you want to have a certain type of consonant sound to what you do. But there's any number of melodies out there that are really built on creating a more angular sound where maybe we have whatever, right? That's the original Star Trek theme, and it's all built on fourths, so it creates its own unique sound. So incorporating more consecutive fourths is not something Palestrina would have done, but it's something Alexander Courage, the guy who wrote the Star Trek theme, I believe that was his name, did, and lots of other musicians might do. So it's certainly worth exploring other possibilities, but know that there really is something to that. If you're going to have consecutive leaps and you stick within a triad, it gives you one kind of sound, and if you go outside a triad, it gives you a different kind of sound, and you have them both at your disposal, and it's useful to know that that is how you can control that aspect of the sound, whether or not consecutive leaps outline a triad or not.